Hello and welcome along to episode 9 of this Cricket 19 Ashes Test playthrough with me, Daniel. We're playing through the first test of the 2019 Ashes series with England, trying to beat the mighty rival Australia. We're completing a session in every episode, so if you have missed any of the 8 so far, please do click on the eye above to catch up with the series, just to make sure you don't get any spoilers when we do our usual scorecard review in a moment, before starting the next session. We're into the third and final session on day 3. Australia are back in with the bat for the second innings of this test match, and it doesn't look like the test is going to go through the full 15 sessions. That's the one spoiler I will give you. So I've given you a second to click over now, so let's go and have a look at the scorecard. I just want to say as we go into it, a massive thank you to everyone that supported the series. I'm really pleased with how well it's gone down, and I hope you continue to enjoy it, as well as our long-term career, which will start around a week after the conclusion of this test match. But let's go and have a look at the scorecard to see where we stand at the moment. Australia were struggling early on in their second innings. They're 101 for 4 now, having lost 3 early wickets. They'd started to rebuild, but then Travis Head got himself out, and now Steve Smith's trying to use all of his experience, with Peter Handscomb joining him at the crease. If we look at our bowling cards, you can see who's been the star. Jimmy Anderson early on was very expensive, but got 2 brilliant wickets, and the key ones are the left-handers. David Warner and Usman Khawaja both bowled out for low scores. Stuart Broad got the first of the day. He got Marcus Harris, the inexperienced opener, and then Moeen Ali came back in to dominate late on. A brilliant economy yet again, and a fantastic wicket towards the end of the session. He got Travis Head out for 20. Joe Root and Ben Stokes both did a couple apiece, and it's the biggest benefit we've got with this England side, having some part-time options, which allows us to rotate the bowling attack. It's the problem Australia had in their first innings, as they failed to keep us at bay. They started really well and got us to 56 for 4, but after that, with their 4 bowling options, they all started to get fatigued and run out of steam, and in the end we made it to 534, with Joe Root getting a brilliant double hundred. Usman Khawaja were the star of the first innings for Australia. He got 65 of their 212, but even with their 100 so far in this innings, they're trailing by 221. We go into the evening session looking to bowl them out, and maybe wrapping up this test match in 3 days. At the very least, we want to get it done in the first session of tomorrow, so hopefully this test match will finish on Saturday at the latest, and then the following Saturday we'll be able to start our career. I'm really looking forward to that one, as we try to emulate Alistair Cook by opening the batting for England as a left-hander, a position we very much noticed there was a void when we were playing with England in the first batting innings. But plenty of positives in the gameplay so far. It's been a really immersive experience, and despite a couple of little technical glitches and issues, the game's coming along quite nicely. So I hope you'll join me for the career mode and enjoy the rest of this series. Let's get into the first over after tea. We'll be back with the highlights in a moment. Okay, first ball of the session, we brought Jimmy Anderson back into the attack. He had a brilliant start to the last session, swinging the new ball all over the place. Got a couple of wickets for the left-handers. This time we've got plenty of slips into the new batsman Handscomb, and this time it's just been fended away. A brilliant stroke down the ground, and he might well get 4 for it as well, though I think it will be cut off for 2. They might try and run back the third, but he's fielded well at deep mid-off, and he's back to Anderson, just 2 off the first ball. Not much swing left in the pitch, so let's show some tricks from Jimmy Anderson. A slower ball after those 2 runs off the first one. We're just going to try and catch him in the crease. He's a little bit too far to the leg side, and it's been flicked away again. Stuart Broad will prevent it reaching the boundary, but he is going to concede another 2. We might have to go back to our other field pretty quickly, as we've been a bit expensive so far in this over. I'm going to do that before the next ball, and hopefully things will fare a little better for us. 2 balls left in the over. It's a standard delivery for Anderson. The new field seems to have worked. We've gone back to our usual spin one, and we've had 2 dot balls so far, although that one's hooked away, and he's probably got the pace to reach the boundary. 4 more runs for Handscomb, and he's really enjoying the seamer at the moment. We were going to bring Chris Woakes in after this, but we might have to get Moeen Ali back into the attack. Final ball of the over. It's on for a maiden for Chris Woakes. Really good delivery so far. This one's just going to be a standard line and length. It has been hooked away, and I think it might reach the boundary again. Can Joe Root, the skipper, cut it off? He's going to make a lunge for it just before the boundary. Manages to flick it back, and hopefully it'll just be 3. Good fielding from the England captain. Australia finished the over well. 112 for 4. The deficit now just 213. Halfway through the Anderson over, and we're going to go for another standard delivery. We don't seem to be getting much luck so far. Just outside off stump, and that one's been sliced away. It's off the edge, but it's flown to the boundary, just between the point and gully fielders, and we've got a bit of misfortune with that one. Steve Smith hacks it away for 4. No intent on that, off the edge high up the bat, but Jimmy Anderson gets unlucky. No third wicket for him. Back to the standard delivery. Will it yield success for Chris Woakes? This time we put the pace up again, but it's defended away for a single. It's not like Australia to add a run in the middle of the over. Moeen Ali throws it back in. It's just going to be one off that ball. Steve Smith back on strike. He's moved on to 40 now. Standard delivery to come from Woakes. Final ball of the over. Been very economical, just that single so far. This one's outside off stump. He's got a chance to catch it surely. Caught and bowled Chris Woakes. Wonderful piece of bowling. Steve Smith out for 40. He was certainly the danger man of the batsman left. Wonderful bowling with the final ball of the over. Steve Smith throws his bat at it again, and this time he's not quite as lucky as the last over as he goes straight back into the arms of Woakes. Some very dodgy camera angles on the way through, but brilliant fielding by the bowler, and he's got a caught and bowled. The big remaining wicket, Steve Smith out for 40. Chris Woakes strikes again. Fantastic work from him in this innings after his 3 in the last one. After all the excitement of that wicket, we are going to stick with Jimmy Anderson now. We were planning to go back to Moeen Ali, but the wickets changed everything. Peter Handscomb will face Anderson, just the standard delivery to start. It's onto the stumps and it's flicked away. Probably going to be 2 here, although Joe Root might not get to that. I think it could be 4. It's flicked back and Moeen Ali's backing up. It looks like it's going to be 3. Tim Paine on strike, yet to get off the mark. Just a slower delivery he's faced so far, so let's ramp this one up with an effort ball. Try and surprise him with a pace. Did that get a nick on it? I'm not sure if it did. It went very fine if it went through. It looks like it's gone between bat and body. That's really unfortunate. A brilliant delivery from Anderson. Chris Woakes back into the attack. He obviously took a wicket with his last ball. This time he's bowling to Peter Handscomb. Just a standard line and length delivery. It's flicked away to the leg side, and this one might go all the way to the boundary. It's being chased by Keaton Jennings, but he isn't going to get there. Handscomb on to 20, and what a poor start to the over from Woakes. Jimmy Anderson stays in the attack. Just one more over we're going to get out of him. We're going to start with a faster in-swinging delivery. Is there anything left on this ball at all? Oh, that one went straight through. I went up for the appeal thinking it had hit the pad, but it was a little bit too high. What a delivery from Anderson though. That's the benefit of having him bowling in short spells. 2 balls left in the over, and again it's on for a maiden from Anderson. It's been a really good over so far. We're going to switch it up with a bit of a cross-seam delivery. This one's shorter and it's been flicked away. A little bit of an edge high off the bat, but it's gone between the gully and slip fielder, and it's made its way to the boundary. Tim Paine off the mark with a 4, but it was one of the streakiest shots you'll see. Look how high that is on the bat. Almost hits the handle, but it has gone away to the boundary, and Australia will only care about the 4 runs. Jimmy Anderson should be confident as he comes in for the last ball of his spell. Halfway through the Handscomb over, it's a standard delivery to come. Chris Woakes with a brilliant spell so far. Can he force the batsman into a shot? Hooks it away round the corner. Joe Root, the skipper's chasing again. I'm sure he'll keep this from the boundary, will he? He's not quite managed to get there. The ball picked up pace and Joe Root's going all over the place there. Another slight technical glitch and another 4 for Australia. Moeen Ali back into the attack for Anderson. We want to try a little bit of spin now. Tim Paine, the new batsman, he's not particularly confident. Can we catch him out, and will he be able to pick the deliveries? We're going to go for a flighted one first. Our usual trick to try and get them to play at one. It's outside off stump, but he doesn't attack it. It's just going to be a dot ball. Just a couple more off-break deliveries to come before we switch it up with a doosra. This one again outside off stump. Pretty consistent line, and he's got the edge. That went at rocket speed, but the wicket-keeper takes it, Ben Folkes. Moeen Ali strikes after 3 balls again. He is so dominant in this game. I don't know whether it's just spin or not. I think that's a little bit unrealistic movement from the wicket-keeper, but we're not going to complain on this occasion. Ben Folkes takes Tim Paine for 4. Moeen Ali with a brilliant delivery. 2 balls left for Ali, and look at those figures at the bottom. 2 for 7 off 5.4 overs. It's the one criticism I have of this game, although I'm going to be doing an off-spinning series, and it's going to be brilliant for me to watch, as that one's been hooked away and will be at least 2, though Joe Root's going to cut it off. They've only run 1, which is really surprising. I thought they could have got an easy 2 there. Final ball for Moeen Ali, outside off stump with the off-break delivery, and again it's a pretty good shot away. Peter Handscomb might get a 4 here. Can Joe Root keep it in? He's just running over the boundary, and as a result Australia get 4, and with the final ball of the over they move on to 137. Halfway through the Chris Woakes over, a little bit of cross seam to come, still on the standard line and length. Can we tempt Pat Cummins into a shot? He tries one there, but it misses the outside edge, straight through to the wicket-keeper Ben Folkes. Final ball of the over, let's go for the classic in-swinging, fast-paced delivery. Can we catch the lower order batsman out? He hooks it away, it's just been edged, tries to flick it to the leg side, but unfortunately it's gone to gully, though it was along the ground, so there's no wicket there. A brilliant maiden from Woakes, and he caused a bit of trouble as well. Moeen Ali to continue his second over of this spell, already got 1 wicket in the first over, although he was a little bit expensive, conceding 5 runs. By his standards that's absolutely awful, but we're not going to complain if he keeps getting wickets. We're going to start with the wrong un to try and catch out Hanscom. We want to get Pat Cummins on strike and see if he'll do something stupid. It's outside off stump, so he might well get away with that, unless they try and run a second. They haven't, so we've got the bowler on strike. 2 balls left in the Moeen Ali over. Pat Cummins not able to get him away after that first ball from Hanscom. That one might be LBW, you know. I'm not sure if it was going too far. I think it probably was based on the reaction. The umpire doesn't look interested. I'm thinking about appealing, but in my heart of hearts I know it's probably not out. We've got 2 remaining though, so let's go and see a DRS referral. We're going to review the decision, but I don't think it's going to be out. Moeen Ali, obviously no problems with the no ball. It was a perfect delivery. There's certainly no edge on it. It goes straight through and hits the pad, but I think it was too far to the leg side already. Or maybe I'm wrong and it was outside the line of off stump. Or tell you what, that looks alright, but again it's far too close to the leg side. It's definitely going to pass leg stump. We'll just skip through it because we already know the answer. Let's have a look at the ball tracking. Pitch is outside off, that's fine. Hits the batsman in line, which is fine. And this might be a good referral, you know. It's just missing leg stump though. Not a bad referral in the end, but we do lose our first review. Just edging past the stumps. It was closer than I thought in truth. Peter Hanscom to face a slower delivery. Again we're going to go for our standard line and length. Can we catch him out with this one? It's onto the stumps and he deflects away, but it's going to drop safe. The slip fielder couldn't get there in time. What a spell from Chris Woakes so far. An economy of 2.3 and a wicket for 12 runs. Let's go for a standard delivery again. We've still got Hanscom on strike and he seems to be a little bit worried about Chris Woakes as we keep trying to get him to flick it away. Again it's a streaky inside edge and he's gone away for 4 on the leg side. There's not too much we can do about that. We've got to be pleased with the delivery. It's hit the inside edge of the bat and it's then gone through his legs to the boundary. I don't know if you'll see that too often, but it's worked out brilliantly for Australia. They get to 142 and the deficit's now just 180. Third ball of the Moeen Ali over and Pat Cummins still not able to get any runs off him. 1 off 15 deliveries. In the end goes for the sweep and he will get a single, though it went absolutely nowhere near where he intended. Pat Cummins will just be happy to be off strike and arguably getting Hanscom out would be better. Pat Cummins may well get stuck on strike again here as Chris Woakes mixing up his line and length and he's mixing up the pace as well. Outside off leg stump with that one though, and that's going to be flicked away for 4. A really poor delivery from Woakes. Maybe he is just starting to tire. Final ball of Chris Woakes' spell. It's been a really good one in truth. 1 for 20 off 7 overs. We can't argue with that. We don't want to concede any more here though. Just past the edge of the bat and just misses leg stump. How on earth has that not hit the stumps? A brilliant bit of swing bowling. Chris Woakes finishes his spell and he took that crucial first wicket after lunch. He'll be replaced by Stokes or Broad. We'll find out which one after the Moeen Ali over. Ali to continue, we know all about him. Peter Hanscom on 33, looking good, but Moeen Ali strikes at this time normally. That one's going to be a single off the first ball though. A good start to the over from Australia. Off break delivery for Moeen Ali. He's going to float it outside off stump again. Really want to try and get Pat Cummins to play at 1. Everything's going to the leg side and that one's just going to beat the infielder for a single. Not the best start for us. 2 runs off 3 balls. Last ball of the over, a standard off-break delivery to finish. A really good over from Moeen Ali. Just the 2 runs off it, though Peter Hanscom flicks that one away, beats the fielders again between slip and gully, and they're going to get at least 2 for that. It's thrown back into the wicket keeper. Not the best finish to the over. Australia passed 150, but they've still got a mountain to climb. OK, we've opted for Stuart Broad over Ben Stokes in the end, partly because he's already got a wicket. He's got the more aggressive mentality according to their game, and Stuart Broad is obviously the specialist bowler, and hopefully he'll be able to dig into the lower order. So we're going to start with a standard delivery to Pat Cummins. Let's see if the effort ball works out well. We're sticking with the same field that we bowled to the spinners, and that one's been flicked away for a dot. Cross seam delivery from Stuart Broad. We'll see if they work out as well as they should do. We're going to make it a slower ball as well, just to mix up the pace. That one's been flicked away and it looks like it's going to be at least a single, although they may come back for 2 as well. They cancel the second run, so it is just 1. Stuart Broad gives away the strike to the batsman. Halfway through the over, and we're just trying to perfect that line outside off stump. We want to bring the LB into question, but we don't want to get too wide. Did that one get an edge on it? I'm not quite sure. Doesn't look like it. Straight through to the keeper. 2 balls left in the over. Let's throw in the wrong un, and hopefully that will catch out the LB as we throw it outside off stump. It seems to have worked. It pitches on leg stump, and the umpire's given it. Australia may review, but Moeen Ali strikes with the wrong un. A fantastic bit of bowling, and it looks like he's going to get his man out. Let's see if they decide to review it, as it was pretty close for pitching outside leg, but Pat Cummins decides to walk. Bowled LBW for 8, and exactly as we said at the start of the over, the LB came into play. Mitchell Stark's in the left-hander. Australia just 3 wickets remaining, and they've got to try and bat through to the start of day 4. They're still 170 behind. They're now on 152 for 7. We're going to go around the wicket to the left-hander. We're 1 away from a maiden as well. Can we make it a wicket maiden? Let's deliver this one to Stark. An off-break delivery, again trying to bring the LB in. It's not a million miles away. It was just turning past off stump, but we've got to let the umpire know we're still there. A fantastic wicket maiden from Moeen Ali. Spin continues to dominate. We're not going to challenge that one, and at the end of the over, we're just 3 away from winning this match. Will Australia see out the day? Stuart Broad to continue. We'll start with a cross-seam delivery. I just wish we had 2 spinners at this point. You just never knew before it was going to be that effective, although that ball's been absolutely flown away to the leg side. Peter Hanscom with a 4, over the infield brilliantly. That's the first wonderful shot we've seen in some time from Australia. He moves into the 40s. Stuart Broad's going to have to amend his line. 166 behind Australia. I wish we had Liam Dawson as the second spinner. Let's go for a standard delivery, make it an effort ball as well. Just outside off stump, he's hooked it away, and it's going to go for 4 again. This is a really poor start to the over. 8 runs off 2 balls, and we really need to get our focus back. Final ball of the over, and we've brought it back after those 2 boundaries early on. We're going to go for a standard line and length with the last. Will it catch the batsman out? Probably not. It's just been edged away though, and they are going to get runs for it. But what a fantastic delivery. Almost got his wicket. Australia get 2 in the end. Hanscom on to 46, just 1 boundary away from a 50. Here comes the drinks break then, halfway through the session. I think we've had more than 15 overs, as we're trying to get in 33 in this evening session, and that might be enough to bowl Australia out, or at the very least we're going to have a short session at the start of day 4. I hope the fans haven't paid too much for tickets, as they're not going to be seeing much play. Just another off-break delivery to come from Moeen Ali. We will throw the doozer in eventually. This one's just outside off stump. It's up in the air, but no one's going to get there. Not sure if it brings LB into play. Think it's just outside the line. 2 balls left in the over for Ali. Can we try and catch him on his stumps? That's a very good LB shout for Stark. The umpire's given it, and it's 4 for Moeen Ali. He is ripping through this tail. 9 wickets in the match. 3 in this spell of a few overs. What an unbelievable bit of spin bowling. You can't tell me it's not dominant in this game. Moeen Ali gets Mitchell Stark out for a duck off 6 balls, and now Nathan Lyon's in with just 2 wickets left. Australia still trail by 160. We're back to the right-hander, so we'll come over the wicket for the last ball, but as Nathan Lyon faces his first delivery, it's certainly going to be a long task for Australia. They've got 14 overs to go just to make it to the end of the day, and maybe Moeen Ali's spell will be extended as we trying to get him the 5th wicket. We're going to bowl a flighted delivery outside off stump. Nathan Lyon goes for it and misses, and it's straight through to the keeper as it misses the stumps. Halfway through the over from Ben Stokes, let's go for the cross-seamer. On for a maiden so far, but Hanscom will try and get his half-century here. That one's been edged and it's gone away to the boundary. Hanscom brings up 50 in the most fortuitous way possible. Goes between slip and gully again, and he's really got away with one there. 50 off 65, and it's not been convincing at all. Moeen Ali continues. We've kept the extra slip fielder in, the same that we had for Stokes. This one's an off-break delivery. That's going to be LB. Surely that one's going on to hit the stumps. Come on, umpire, do us a favour. Doesn't look like he wants to give it. I think it's because he tried to play a shot and it hit him just outside the line. Ben Stokes continues. Let's start with a cross-seam delivery. Peter Hanscom still not advanced since reaching 50. We're going to throw it just outside off stump. He really goes for it this time. It's between cover and mid-off. and unfortunately it goes for 4. A really good shot from the Australian batsman, picking the gap in the field nicely. A poor start to the over from Stokes. Maybe it's time for Joe Root as well. Australia still stuck on 170 for 8. They've got a long way to go in this one. That's been edged outside again. This one's gone past all the slips. Between Gully and Point and another 4. Peter Hanscom getting away with murder today. 3 or 4 really streaky shots. That one's off the edge for 4 again. Final ball of the over, we'll go for a standard delivery. They've been working, we've just not got enough fielders to put out there. It's outside off stump. Will he try and attack it? A brilliant attacking shot on the leg side, and I think Hanscom's realised he's got to do this alone now, so he's just playing like a T20 and attacking every ball. He moves into the 60s, and that's a very expensive over. Joe Root may come back into the attack, as the spin seems to be working much better. Final ball for the skipper, let's throw in the wrong and then. Can we get something special out of it? Not much spin on it, so I doubt it will make much difference. It's just going to be flicked away, and as that deep fielder's now gone, it will be a single, but a decent over from Joe Root, just one off it for Australia. 179 for 8, still trailing by over 140. Moeen Ali continues. There's no way we're taking him out of the attack at the moment. With Joe Root just conceding that single off the last ball, it does mean that we've got Peter Hanscom on strike. We're going for an off-break delivery outside off stump. We've seen that he likes to flick it away, but this time it looks like he's going to get a single. Will they be brave enough to run 2? They are, as Hanscom tries to keep the strike. A good start to the over from Australia. Moeen Ali's going to have to think a little differently. Final ball of the Moeen Ali over. Just those 2 off the first delivery. Loads of dots since. We're trying to tempt Hanscom. This one's flicked away. Will be at least a single. I think they're going to run back for 2, which probably works quite nicely, as it means Nathan Lyon will be on strike for the next one. 4 off the Moeen Ali over. Not one of his best. I've decided one more over for Moeen Ali. He's bowled 9, so let's get him a spell of 10. We really want to try and get him that 5-fer. We need to get Hanscom off strike and have 5 goes at Nathan Lyon. So we're going to throw it really wide outside off stump, try and tempt him to play a single. I think he might have hit that too well and be tempted to get 2. It's been brilliantly fielded though, so it will just be a single, and now we've got 5 balls to get out the tail ender. 2 balls left for Joe Root. Can he make the breakthrough? Doesn't look like it's going to happen this time. Just outside off stump there. It's going to be flicked away for at least 2, or are we going to cut it off for a single? He will get 1 delivery to Nathan Lyon. Can he catch the tail ender out? Let's switch it up with a bouncer. We've got to try and tempt him into something silly. We can't just bowl line and length. We've got to have a surprise in there somewhere. That one's been pulled away fantastically from Hanscom though, and I think it's going to reach the boundary. 4 more for Australia. They're getting close to 200 now. Will they beat their first innings score? 2 balls left in the Wokes over, and we're going to go for the slower delivery. We've got to mix up the pace, if not the line and length, as that seems to be the more reputable answer. It's been flicked away to the leg side again though, and it may well be a boundary for the second time. Joe Root's going to flick it back though, and there's a fielder backing up for him. Just 2 runs off that. Hanscom on to 75. It's the final ball of Anderson's first over back into the attack, and Nathan Lyon continuing to be defensive. None off 30 deliveries now, so we're going to bowl at the stumps with a slower ball just to see if that catches him out, but it's defended well for a dot. A good over a maiden from Anderson. And there it is, it's the end of the session and the end of day 3. We didn't get the extra 3 overs in, just the 30 again in that session. 4 more wickets for Australia, Moeen Ali getting 3 of them, and a brilliant caught and bowl from Chris Wokes at the start to get rid of the dangerous Steve Smith. Peter Hanscom's there starring on 75, but he's had so many bits of good fortune, some really streaky shots that have edged away between fielders, and I don't think he's going to last long, particularly if he continues to go all out attack. He's got to do it to try and get Australia to the total, as Nathan Lyon at the other end is just defending and letting Peter Hanscom do his thing. Nathan Lyon is none off 31, whereas Hanscom's 75 off 97. Australia have been in for 57 overs, they're 191 for 8, and that does mean we are going to be back on Saturday. I'd imagine it'll probably be the last session of the match. I'd be very surprised if we can't get them out in 30 overs, with 2 lower order batsmen there, and Nathan Lyon will have to try and score eventually, as Australia still trail by 131. If they don't get that many more runs, we won't be back into bat, and we'll get the innings victory we craved. A brilliant outcome from this test match. When we bowled Australia out for 212 and were then 56 for 4, we just thought this was an awful pitch and was going to be a very short test match. match. So if we could win it this convincingly, I really would be delighted. Don't forget we're on professional mode, so it hasn't just been all out amateur attack. Australia should have been a little bit better, but spin has just been so dominant. So if we look at the second innings from Australia, as well as all the wickets we've taken, Moeen Ali again has been the superstar, 4 for 23 off 15 overs, 3 wickets in that spell as well, and he'll be back in tomorrow to try and get his fifer. He'll have 10 wickets in the match if he manages to do that, a really outstanding contribution. James Anderson got his 2 wickets in the first session, didn't add to it in this one. Chris Wokes with a brilliant quarter bowled, he's 1 for 47 now, and Stuart Broad is 1 for 32, not got the best economy himself. Ben Stokes has been pretty poor, and Joe Root economical, but not really caused any trouble. But nevertheless, we'll be back on Saturday with a start of day 4, as we do try to bowl out Australia in the first session early in the morning, and then that should hopefully give us a week before we start our career mode, which will be the following Saturday again at midday. But if you did enjoy this episode and that fantastic session of spin bowling, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know what your favourite moment was. Was it the caught and bowled off Steve Smith, or was it Moeen Ali just tearing through them again? Have you had the same way you've been playing the game? Have you found that spin bowling's been dominant, or has it just been me as a one-off in this game? Has it been a pitch conducive to spin? Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from my 2 long-term stories, as my channel name gives away. There's also 3 episodes a week from Cricket 19. As I mentioned though, if we do finish off the test match on Saturday as expected, we'll leave it a week before starting our career mode, just so it starts at a weekend. So that'll be the following Saturday at 12 o'clock, and we'll have episodes every Saturday, Tuesday and Thursday. We've got weekly content from Snooker 19, a long-term career mode series in that one. That's every Friday at 4:30. But a massive thanks for watching and your support with the channel and this series as always. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time on Saturday as we try to wrap up this test match. Hopefully we can do it pretty early in the day.